Now, to the stuff that actually matters. You know all year that we have lived in a place that is called Australia but really is separate states that have been acting like separate countries. We have to break this, we have to stop this, because the absolute truth is that unless we are a unified nation, then we're not going to be able to move out and move anywhere towards a new normal. But also, whether state governments ever want to admit it or not, everyone else in every other state pays for a big chunk of state government activity that happens in any one state. So, it is with particular annoyance that I noticed that prick who is the Deputy Premier in Queensland, I said it three times last night, let's see if I can outdo myself now. This is the bloke who knows that they were able to scare their way towards re-election by keeping everyone safe when it came to the pandemic. Well, now, this prick is saying that they are not going to give $30 million to the New South Wales government for hotel quarantine. Now, the truth is that hotel quarantine has largely been done by New South Wales. Thousands of people, of the 122,000 people that have come in from overseas, they come in through New South Wales. And New South Wales has been able to tell the difference between the spot fire and the bushfire. So there has been virtually no lockdowns. But if there was a problem, it'd be in a local government area, as opposed to this prick who decided to turn around and say, remember that everyone in Queensland a few months ago had to stay inside their house, weren't allowed unless they had the 4 key reasons as approved by, I don't know, the UN, and you were supposed to wear your mask in your car even if you were moving it in your own driveway. They make it up as they go along, but now we're in the game of politics, where this guy is now pretending they don't have to pay a $30 million bill that New South Wales has been racking up, making sure that people are going to Sydney, not Brisbane, and therefore the virus potentially getting out. This is what this prick had to say today.
If you're a horse or a dog or a cow, then the Commonwealth Government is responsible for your quarantine. But if you're a person, all of a sudden they say that's up to the states.
What a clown. Now, a little lesson for the Deputy Premier and everyone watching us right now in Queensland who says, thank you for keeping us safe. You are part of Australia, okay? And this is how much a part of Australia you are, because according to the budget papers of the Queensland government themselves, let's quote them, $28 billion is how much money federal taxpayers hand to the state of Queensland each and every year. That's up by $1.4 billion this time last year. But because now we have the nations within a nation and we have state governments that play this tit-for-tat garbage, this was the Treasurer of New South Wales telling people in their state that if you're not holidaying in great places like Mudgee, don't go to Queensland.
To sit there and think that yesterday, as a political stunt, with some issue they've got with the Prime Minister, they turned against the people of New South Wales is completely unacceptable and disappointing. And I just say to the people of New South Wales, when holidaying next, you know, Hobart's looking pretty good, even Adelaide, so go for your lives.
Fire up, Dom, come on, wake up, hello!
Oh, 25 billion.
Now, one of the reasons he's playing it down is that taxpayers in Queensland and all the other states, well, they also send money from the federal government back to New South Wales. The numbers there, $82 billion is how much money goes back into the state coffers thanks to the taxpayers of the rest of the country. So put simply, we are a united country. We are not separate nations. We need to drop this stuff as fast as possible and get back to unifying the country. One of the best ways we can do that is to make sure that Anzac Day is the way that it should be. It should be COVID-free, it should be COVID-safe, but it's a way of us reminding ourselves that regardless of whether you were born in Queensland, New South Wales or Western Australia, you were fighting for the freedoms of this country. On the 25th of April, when 4 million people have got the vaccine, let's make sure that they get the honour they deserve. As powerful as it was for us to all be looking at our iPhones and standing in the driveway, we need Anzac Day to be normal, just like it will be in Queensland, just like it will be in Darwin. We need the New South Wales government, the Victorian government, to confirm that you can have your suburban services, including right here in Mudgee. They need to do it tomorrow.